Afternoon, sir. I'm going to pop out to the shops. Any requests?
Glad you asked me. Just run in for a wrap for £1 before my big grapple.
Yeah, I guess I can make that work.
Mate, where are you? All I asked you to do was run in for a wrap for £1 before the big grapple.
Oh, I thought you said run a lap around the Big Apple. Hello, I am Fergus Crawley and this is my first time in New York City. So what better way to explore it than to run a lap of Manhattan, as most people that visit the city often find themselves doing. Isn't that right, guys? Yeah? Yeah? So, Statue of Liberty behind me, which is again, first time experiencing any of this. Traveled in from Midtown, where I'm staying at the moment, to obviously south end of the island to see Wall Street for the first time, which is very cool. We are at the East Memorial and we're gonna go anti-clockwise. I've been told the east side is a lot less exciting than the west side, but I'm really going to enjoy just immersing myself in the city, fueling myself along the way with whatever shopping carts, cafes I can find. I don't have a huge amount on my person. I've got fluids, I've got electrolytes, but other than that, I'm going to fuel myself on New York City and nothing but. We've got about 10, 11 people at the start to run with me for as far as they can manage. I think there's one person planning on doing the whole thing. Savage. And then I've got a live tracking link so people can join us, because I know there'll be some people wanting to join on the West Side Highway. Is that sort of the running hotspot of New York? Look at me talking as if I know what I'm talking about and not just regurgitating information. So this is really exciting for me. I've seen New York in movies, TV shows my whole life. I'm sounding very much like a clueless tourist at the moment, but being here and exploring on foot, running, having the ability to just be able to go out and do this is something that's really exciting to me. And what I'm going to talk about as we go is just how much value I get from using running as a way of exploring myself, environments, different people, and just what I'm capable of, and using it as a mechanism for something much bigger than just performance metrics. Performance metrics are cool, but self-improvement and learning about yourself along the way through pushing your boundaries is even cooler. So I think we will go and link up with the group and get started. So we've had to spend most of the first 10k much more inland than the east side, just because there's so much construction work going on there. Having to stop at traffic lights, weaving in and out a little bit, it's been just a bit more to think about. And by the looks of things, the intel we had, and if you turn right at 40th Street gets you back onto the east side, could well not be the case. Okay, we are 18.41 kilometers in, which I know is not the units that you'll be used to, so let's work backwards. We're about 11 and a half, 12 miles deep. East side's been interesting. There's been a lot of navigation required, and we kind of just got out of a period there where I was settled into a nice 10-minute per mile pace, and then we got hit with the dead end and had to go backwards towards the bridge. So, learning curve, but the good thing is for me, I've ended up in parts of New York that I'd never ordinarily find myself in as a visitor, which I guess is kind of cool. I'm seeing every corner of the city and enjoying it with some great company. A few people have dropped off, but everybody's put in a good shift, and there's a few people that are going to be running further than they've ever ran today. There's a few people that are training for big events. There's a few people that have been inspired to do things off the back of stupid stuff I've done in the past, which is really cool to talk about. But we're coming towards the north side of the island now, and we'll loop back to the exciting part. So I have high expectations. Don't let me down, New York. Nearly went down a manhole cover there, that would have been interesting. And we are doing zigzags across Harlem as we're just trying to find a way to track as close to the river as possible. All of the route planning that I did on Strava, where it said you could run or walk in certain sections, has turned out to be fairly unreliable. So we're kind of zigzagging 90 degrees, trying to just get to the Harlem River Greenway so we can just get all the way up the east side before we get to the top and head back down. But so far today, navigation has been the biggest challenge, but I'm not that mad about it, because ultimately that theme of exploration that comes from running in a new place, running with new people, covering a big distance, it's very fitting. And it's one of the many ways I think running is valuable beyond just performance-driven metrics, and why doing leisurely paced stuff like this, the social side of things, the disconnecting side of things, not having headphones on, all the things that I like to talk about and take a huge amount of value from on my own training, today is a great example of when you can just settle into being proud and enjoying your body's ability to move around a city like this. Whenever I'm in a new place, I'll always try and do a decent run just to feel it, get a feel for the place and see some of the sights on foot. I think that is very cool. That man begins this section. Kind of half hoping that Christian Bale will drive his Murcielago into a car here. Feels very familiar. Feels very familiar. So this just here is the Robert K. Kraft Field at the Lawrence A. Bean Wine Stadium, which is Columbia. So Columbia University just there.
I live on 192nd, so okay, gotcha. I saw you guys coming through. Oh my God.
Standard of tracks and facilities at universities, colleges over here versus the UK is astronomically higher.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Just crazy to see how clean, pristine, and just functional everything is. So yeah, I think back to when I've trained the powerlifting world championships I did in Vegas in 2015, I think it was. Just the standard of the college gym that I did my last couple of sessions in before the actual meet itself was like the best gym I'd ever been to, comparatively to the UK. So the standard over here is huge, which is great to see from a training point of view. But that's us, pretty much coming to the north side. So I think we'll touch base properly in a second. Okay, north end of Manhattan, Inglewood Park, and what a tranquil little setting it is after a not so tranquil couple of areas that we've been through just there. Lots of zigzagging, fair amount of time and distance lost and gained, so we're all in good spirits. I think navigation has been the biggest challenge of the day so far, but what I will say is that my experience I've had of New York thus far versus London, for example, is it's actually easier to understand geographically. The subways are up and down straight lines, the grid system makes it easy to get to grips with, and all of the place names are completely logical. Like the Upper East Side is on the Upper East Side, whereas in London you've got Vauxhall, which could be anywhere, couldn't it? So with that in mind, I've really enjoyed sort of just going through different areas that I probably wouldn't have otherwise found myself in had I not been doing this. Just under 20 miles deep, just under 32k. We've just had somebody else join us. We are down to myself and 4 others. And then I know there'll be a few people joining us for the West Side Highway, which I'm very much looking forward to. Electrolytes and carbs holding out nicely here. And then I picked up some Sour Patch Kids, which I've been nailing as I go, because America, am I right? I think we are heading that way, kind of, and then it's just a straight line all the way back down. So I'm kind of tentative to say that confidently, because I thought at certain points on the east side it was a straight line, and it was not. So you might notice the path has ended here, even though every single map we all have access to says it continues. And the excitement of the west side being completely easy navigation-wise has lulled us into a false sense of security. Good Lord. Well, I asked for a journey around New York and I have got it. So, 26 miles deep, we are 2 hours and 34 minutes in, feeling quite smooth. One thing I am in need of is a fluids resupply, and I think we're at about block, well, 165. So 125 is where we think there's quite a lot that we can pick up and get moving. Just had a heartbreaking moment going into a kids' play park there, seeing 2 water fountains, thinking that's it, we're saved. Not on. So, heartbreak city right here. Forget New York City, that's where we are. Beautiful along this side, temperature's gone up a little bit, so definitely in need of fluids now, all things considered. We've got 2 guys that are still with us from the start, which is amazing, and they've got somebody that's joined us. We've had a few people come and go, and we might even get a few more further down the west side. So I think we're going to try and resupply a little bit at 125 and then carry on from there. $50k down, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lovely, I feel like we're missing someone. Oh, no, it's you behind the camera. 5 lovely gentlemen still with us, 2 of which have been with us from the start. As I've already mentioned, they're still here, and I think everybody is going to see it through the whole way at this point. We are 50k deep, so in theory should only have 2k to go, which is just over 1 mile, but navigational issues today mean that in fact we have about 6.5, 7 miles to go, which is somewhat upsetting, but we'll call it character building stuff, as New York has given us some fantastic weather. Very busy here, but just sort of people watching and getting a feel for the place, going through the Upper West Side, all that sort of stuff's great for me to see. It's great to meet these guys, hear where they're from. The guy that just left us earlier, Grayson, was a Rolodex of knowledge about New York, so I've learned a lot, and actually somebody that's lived in Queens their whole life has learned an awful lot about New York as well. So it's been great fun at this point, and just really is testament to how fantastic the community around running is, and why exploration through running is something that I'm truly, truly passionate about. Definitely starting to feel it in my legs at this point. This man here had run 1 marathon before today, and we've just crossed the 32 mile threshold. You're a little bit in the hole, aren't you?
Just a little bit.
But he's flying. What an absolute hero. Every step is a PB, which is amazing. And we are feeling a little bit rough back here, but mainly because the heat's changed so much, I think. Oh, Empire State Building's just popped into view. I don't think a GoPro lens will show you, but it's quite reassuring to start seeing major landmarks that you know and love, rather than the ones up on the north end, which I don't know quite as well. Okay, 53k down, and Andrew Shelley, the absolute legend behind the camera, needs to depart as he is shooting some engagement photos for his friend. Just realised as I said that maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, but this will be going out after it's hopefully happened, so fingers crossed all goes to plan. Everybody comment Andrew Shelley, you are an absolute legend, down in the comments below before he goes, because he's put in an absolute shift. From this point onwards, you will just have me with my GoPro, so the standard of videography is going to significantly go downhill at this point. I just want to say a huge thank you to 10,000 for kitting me out today and providing the legend that you've all commented. Congratulations to down below. He's not getting engaged, but congratulations for being such a good guy is what I'm expecting. And they've been an absolute lifesaver in helping me make this happen today, providing the camera support, providing the clothing, and maybe a few more exciting things to come in the future. Who knows? Watch this space. But that's that. Me, a GoPro, and 5 lovely gentlemen seeing it through to just south of Wall Street.
That's exactly right. Mentally up at 37 miles.
59.99. 60 kilometers. 60 kilometers. This run was meant to be 52. And I'm glad it's been 60, because this has been great fun. The weather's turned, great bunch of lads, great city, although my neck is a bit sore from going, wow, like a typical British bloke all day. So we'll debrief at the end, which is just around the corner. Oh man, first ever ultra. Well done, well done. Job done.
Nice work.
Very good,
nice work.
very good, very good, very good, very good, very good. Whole way, and I made it the whole way too. Back to the Eagle, which is about an American finish as I could have asked for. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel great. I'm really good.
Rubbing it in, rubbing it in. How do you feel?
Destroyed. Absolutely.
Fresh.
Fresh?
Yeah.
5Kers.
Ready to go around again.
Ready to go around again.
Fantastic.
Feeling good. Alive. That's the main thing. That was an absolute thrill. New York, I love you, what a place. Some navigational issues made that difficult, but that was just a phenomenal experience with a great bunch of guys coming along. And we've had about 25 people sort of appear and drop in, drop out the whole way through, which has been great. Been amazing to meet people along the way, have some conversations, learn more about this amazing city, and just immerse myself in it. I highly recommend, whether it's running a lap of New York City or not, whenever you're in a new city, use running as a method of exploring the place, exploring yourself on longer distances in your own training back home. I love this stuff. It's been great to just experience this without worrying too much about timing, metrics, heart rate, and just having a good day out in a new place and trying to keep calm about some challenging map and Strava related issues. But that is that. I very much hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're new around here, please do make sure to hit like, subscribe, and comment down below with your thoughts, feelings, and whether you are going to run a lap of New York City in the future. But that is it from me. What a place, what a journey, what a day out, what a bunch. Fantastic.